Hello and welcome to my video today. I've been putting this off for quite a while, but I finally hit 24,000 miles on my Fisker Ocean and I need to replace the tires. I do a pretty mixed run of city and highway, and if you use a lot of highway miles, you tend to have less wear because city miles, you get more of the braking, regen braking, and acceleration, and that wears the tires more. So if you're mostly city driving, a lot of those people are seeing anywhere from 8 to maybe 15,000 at most. And I have seen some people that do a lot of highway miles and they're getting easily 40,000 or more. So it really depends on a lot of factors, including how much you do accelerate and brake, as well as the tire pressure being at the proper level for getting the best life, and also rotating the tires so that there's no more than 2/32 of an inch between the front and the rear. Here's a look at my tires at 24,000 miles. The fronts are pretty worn out. I measured between 1 and 2/32 of an inch, so definitely need to be replaced, as you can see from the edges here. Yep, they are pretty worn. And I have been rotating every 5,000 or 6,000 miles, but the fronts do wear more than the rear. The rear I measured 3/32, so a little bit more, but still close enough to being replaced, not enough to keep them going. So you can see some detail right there. And here are the new tires. I purchased these last year and I got a really good deal on the tires. I think it was roughly $148 each. And these are the same as the factory Bridgestone Lenza Sport All Season 255/45 R22 XL rated. So let's pop these into the trunk and go off to Discount Tire and get them installed. And here we are at my local Discount Tire, 8:45 Friday morning. Looks like a good day to get the tires changed. I'm gonna go inside, get everything set up, and wait. Don't forget to use the lift pucks. I put these on the car before I get the service so that it's all ready. So I let them know. A lot of times they'll use floor jacks to lift the car. I've noticed that my local Discount Tire does that. So install these before you get the tires changed. Happens to be an ID Buzz parked right next to me with sad looking rear wheel here. Seems to be the EV parking area here since we have a Tesla on this side. And here we go with the new tires installed. A little dirty right now. I'll have to clean them up and put my center caps back on. I made sure that they use the right torque and air pressure. There we go. Okay, I'm back at home. I got the new tires installed. One thing I do recommend is having the lift pucks and having them installed before they work on the car. Also, remember to take them off before you leave the tire shop. Also, in preparation, I took the center caps off. I don't know, I usually try to make things as easy as possible, and also I don't want anything to get lost. So I removed these ahead of time for the replacement. When I get back, call me a little paranoid, but I also check the tire pressure and the torque on the bolts just to make sure that everything's right. They did have the right torque specs in their system, so at least that's a good start. But I always want to check to make sure that they are properly done. Other than that, I hope to get another 2 to 3 years out of these tires. As recommended, do the tire rotations when there's a difference between the front and rear of about 230 seconds or more, and follow the recommended tire rotation pattern that's in the owner's manual. In addition, make sure that the tire pressure is kept to the correct settings, which is 44 for the front and 49 for the rear. Of course, there are other settings. If you are not in North America, the European settings are slightly different. My tire shop recently had installed an alignment center in one of the bays. However, today it wasn't working, so I may take it back in the future to have them check the alignment. They did tell me that the tire wear across the tread was really even, so just superficially, they didn't think that it needs an alignment. However, I do want to get an alignment just to make sure, since sometimes even from the factory, alignment can be off, and we do have the specs in the owner's manual for alignment, and I'm going to provide that when I go on my next trip to the shop. And I'll cover that in a future video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.